Okay, this is working out good. Did you lose your glasses? You lost your glasses. You lost your glasses. Oh my god, you're chilling. Plus, it gives you a little bit of an insight to my life and get to know me better. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have to share my spooky experiences with you guys so you can get a little bit more info on me and get to know me a little bit better. So come on, come on, come on. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're a new subscriber, hi, hello, I'm Patricia Ann, and this is Misa Moo Moo. We have a story time. If you've read the title of this video, you already know what my story title is about. And it's the time that I worked in a psych hospital, and it was haunted. Yes, it was haunted. I'm going to give you a little inside history on me. I do have anxiety and depression, and why I do and how I developed and stuff. I'm going to share that in a video for you guys to watch in the near future. Well, I'm going to give you all the scoop on what happened, what I experienced. It's just, I hope you don't think I'm crazy for sharing my experience with you, because I know some people is like, oh my goodness, this girl is crazy, because I've tried telling people my experience and they're like, yeah, okay, that really, really happened. Well, it did, so with further ado, let's get on with this video right now. About 3.5 years ago, I decided that I was going to work in a psych hospital. The reason why I want to work in a psych hospital is because I do have depression and anxiety, and I wanted to work with others who also suffer from the same condition that I do. Maybe to get a little bit more of insight of, you know, the different cases of depression and anxiety, how it affects everybody differently, and I just wanted to help others, and by helping others, that would help me. Not to sound conceited or anything, I wasn't doing it just to help myself, but I really and truly wanted to help others, so that's why I took the position, and I got the position. I started working as a mental health technician, an MHT, and I began working midnights. Now, working midnights, that messes up with your whole body timer. Like, you're sleeping during the day, you're working at night, and then just like me, I work midnight days, and that is absolutely, absolutely the worst schedule to ever have in my book, is a midnight day, because you're getting up and waking up like what, 8 or 9, and you're working all the way till like 4 or 5 the next day, and that to me is rough. So if you do that right now and you continue doing that, I want to give you a round of applause, because that, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I did it for a good year, but I couldn't keep up with it. It was just not for me. Anywho, so I got the job and I started working midnights. Now, when you get a new job, you work with people that you don't know. You're getting to know them. You're getting to work with your coworkers, and you're getting to meet them and experience their, you know, stories they got to tell you. Well, while working, they was telling me, you know, all these little horror stories about what's going on at the hospital. You know, before the hospital got turned into a psych hospital, it was an original hospital. It had a pool in the basement. It had, you know, all these different things occur and happen over the years, and they was trying. I thought in my mind, I'm like, they're trying to freak me out. They're really trying to psych me out right now and scare me, because why else would they be telling me these stories? Well, I just shrugged it off, and I was like, okay, so, okay, yeah, okay. I mean, what do you say to people? You don't want to be rude and be like, you're a liar. You're stupid. I do not believe you. I mean, come on. You're not going to say that to somebody. You're just going to, you know, shrug it off and go on about your day. That's what I did. Well, needless to say, as time went on, I started experiencing some of these little stories that I started hearing, and I'm like, wait, oh, what? Nah. Okay, so here's what I experienced. I started working on, like I said before, when I was trained in, I was trained on all the units. So I was only starting to get familiar with 2 units because those are the 2 main units that I would work on regularly. Well, I started getting familiar with 2 units. It was the adolescent unit and the adult unit. So every night that I go in and clock in, I would see my name beside those units, or beside, you know, one of the units that I worked that night. And I would be like, oh, okay, I'm already familiar with this unit. So this went on for months and months, and time had got to the point where they're like, she's familiar with this unit, so, you know, let's just slide her down to another unit because we got new people to train, and she's already familiar with this unit, so we're going to throw her down there. Okay. Well, I get put on a peds unit. Now, peds is pediatrics, and I got put on that unit. I have never worked on this unit before. I wasn't even trained on this unit, and I'm like, what am I going to do? So, it's midnight time in a hospital, and if you've been into a hospital at nighttime, everything's shut down. The hallways are dim, and the lights are flickering. I mean, it's just creepy as hell already. But not to mention you're in a psych hospital. So I'm walking down this hallway, and all the doors in this hospital is locked. They lock behind you. So you have a key to unlock every door that you go in, and you have to lock it back. Well, I finally make it down to the pediatrics unit. It's on ground level. Below that is the basement. It's not the basement anymore because it used to be a pool, and they converted it into storage. So maintenance only uses that, and it is a restricted area. Okay, we've got that covered. Well, obviously, if you're on the ground floor, you're going to hear what's ever in the basement. So you're always hearing these creaking sounds and the wind blowing and trees scratching the windows on the outside. I mean, you hear everything on the ground floor. So along with that, that's kind of spooky at midnight. So I'm doing my rounds. We had rounds we had to do. We had my little clipboard, my flashlight, and I was walking around, going down the hallway, making my way around the hallway. And when I came back, I'd be done with my rounds for that time being, and I would sit down and watch the hallway and make sure, you know, no patients was out walking the hallway. That was my job description until after I took my break, and then I would do my assessments and my paperwork, and then I'd do it all over again. But that is what I did while I worked midnights. It was down pat. Everything was going smoothly until one night. I experienced something I have never ever experienced in my entire life, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay, so I am doing my rounds. I am making my way from room to room. It's dark. I'm shining my flashlight. I'm writing on my clipboard. I make it to the very last room on the right side of the hallway. I open the door, and as soon as I open the door, I'm opening it, and bam, right there is a patient standing in front of me. I drop my flashlight, I jump back, and I'm like, it takes the breath out of me. I'm like, oh my goodness. I could literally feel their presence against me. That's how close they was. So I gather myself real quickly. I grab my flashlight, and I shine it in the room. Because I am on a pediatrics unit. I'm like, a little kid who probably got up during the night and had to go pee or got scared or whatever. But I shine my flashlight, and I look in their bed, and they're sound asleep snoring. And I'm sitting here like, what? What? So I double take that, and I'm like, trying to get my eyes to adjust. I'm like, maybe it's the lighting, since it's dim. Maybe it's my eyes playing tricks. Maybe it's because I'm lack of sleep. I've been working too many midnight days. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Maybe it's just, maybe I've got floaters. At this point, I was thinking, okay, it's nothing to worry about. I'm going to go about my day. I continue doing my rounds, and I make it to the end of the hallway, and I'm like, I've already forgot about it by now. So I sat down, and I continue doing my work, and I keep looking up at the hallway, looking around, doing my paperwork. Days go by, no problems, no nothing. I'm like, okay. I'm not even thinking about it. It's not even in my mind. I've already forgot about it because, I was not ready to accept, hey, I've seen something I shouldn't see. It's abnormal. Well, I start doing my paperwork one night, and I look up to check the hallway, and I see something down there at the end of the hallway on the right corner. Just a little black blob, and I'm like, what is that? And I wear contacts and glasses, and I'm like, no clue what it is. And I'm like looking, and I keep seeing it move. There's a kid down there that's came out of their room crawling on the floor. So I get my flashlight and I start walking down the hallway. I get down there and there's nothing down there. And I'm like, what? And I am not even joking you right now. I literally seen a black blob in the floor at the very end of the hallway. I will never forget it. And I'm like, okay, I have seriously got to get an eye appointment. My eyes are messed up. I'm seeing spots. So I continue the night at work, and I do make my appointment the next morning. I go a couple days later to the eye doctor, get my eyes tested. I don't have nothing wrong with my eyes. My prescription didn't even change. So I'm like, okay, I'm lack of sleep. I started adjusting my sleep schedule to get an extra couple hours sleep. I even start taking naps before I go to work when I know I have to work a midnight day. I'm prepared for this. I'm like, I'm drinking more water. I'm trying to, candy coat the situation that's going on here, because obviously something's going on and I'm not one to accept it. The more I didn't want to accept it, it's like the more I seen these black floating dots. And I'm like, what? I mean, it's not like a big cluster of dots. It's just like a black dot here, a couple hours there, a black dot in the corner of that room, a black dot on that ceiling, a black dot underneath that table. I mean, it just kept occurring. And then as it kept occurring, it's like the patient's files, we would have them out in the hallway because we'd be doing our assessments and stuff. All of a sudden, they just all fall over. No reason for them to just fall over. No explanation of why they just fell over. They would just fall over. And I pick them up, and I'm sitting here like, I'm trying my best at this point. I'm like, I'm losing my mind. I am losing my damn mind. So things would fall into the trash can unexpectedly. Paper, hole punchers would just fall off the table. Doors would just open. I mean, it was starting to get to the point where I'm like, am I on camera? Is somebody pranking me? That's what I was starting to think. No joke. I mean, it was just, if you was sitting here telling me this story, I'd be like, this girl is full of it. She's just trying to scare us because it's Halloween. I am dead serious right now. I am dead serious this happened to me. Anyway, so I had all these occurrences happening. Now, I'm going to tell you the funny part. When I was hired in, I actually, before I became an MHD, I used to work in dietary in the same hospital many years before the time that I became an MHD. And I had heard stories about Martha. Martha was a nurse that had died, well, got murdered in that hospital before it was converted to a psych hospital. And it was in the 80s that it was a regular hospital and she had got murdered. She had got murdered in the basement of this hospital. They don't know how or why she was just killed. And they found her body. And that's when I guess they, filled the pool in and began, use it for storage and stuff. Well, they never did find out why she died. So when I worked in dietary, all the older ladies in dietary would be like, tell me the stories about Martha and, what had happened. And I guess it was just, if you tell somebody something and then you tell somebody else something and you tell somebody else something, it's not the same story that, keeps occurring. So I figured that's what was going on, that they was like, well, adding their own little touch to the story as it continued being passed on from person to person. And that's what I thought was going on. So I didn't really pay too much attention to that either. But things in the kitchen, I noticed when I think back about it, would just fall over. But this is an old hospital. I'm like, isn't that a good enough explanation of why things is happening? Is because things is not sturdy. It's an old building. The heating and air units is not up to date. But, I mean, I'm not trying to slander the business. I'm trying to tell my story here. This is my personal experience. But it was just not a modern hospital. So, therefore, I came to a conclusion that this is why things was happening. It was just, just happening. Time started passing. It started getting fall around this time of year. So it started getting chillier. And I would be bundled up in a hoodie my khakis. I would wear sometimes 2 pairs of socks because the floor would get really, really cold because I would be working on a peds unit, so therefore it was ground floor. Chillier. I would get chills all the time, and I don't know if this is going to make me sound absolutely nuts right now, but I literally seen a human face that dissolved. I know it sounds crazy. Well, listen. I was working on the peds unit. This is where it all started at. And I was making the bed. When I had reached down to pick my pen up that had fell, I looked underneath the bed and I seen a figure. Like, it was just like, it was a human figure coming at me, but dissolved. I'm not even kidding right now. I know it sounds crazy. I feel crazy for saying it, but people think I'm nuts when I try to tell them this, but I'm being serious. It really happened. It really and truly happened to me. And I still can't explain it. So, I've seen all these little figures just all the time at the hospital. And objects that would move or fall that I could not explain. They say that it was the ghost of Martha. I might have said Meredith earlier, but her name's Martha. Martha is supposedly haunting this hospital. I know for a fact that Martha has been in my house that I am in right now. I am not even kidding you right now. She has been in this house. So, I'm going to end this vlog now because I'm getting emotional because I hate to even think about this. But I had brought Martha's spirit home with me, and she possessed my cat. So do you want to see the story time and the pictures I have of how Martha possessed my cat? Comment below, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to get that story time up for you guys. Misa Moo has officially fell asleep because she's bored of this video, but Misa is a result of me working at that hospital. And if you want to see pictures of her when she was first born, and you want to see a story time of how I had got Misa from working at my psych hospital, let me know, and I will be sure to get that video up for you guys too. Thanks guys, make sure you follow my social media. Mwah.